Hi guys, and welcome to the vault. We've been talking to each other for long enough now that I felt it's safe to kind of reveal to you guys where the vault is, deep underground. Very, very unassuming location, but I felt it's safe to invite you guys in now that we've been talking to each other for long enough. Right now we are in the text and literature archives. That's the section of the vault that we're in right now. Maybe sometime in the future, I'll take you down that corridor just where you see to the end of the hallway there. And if you go to the left is where our photography and video archives are kept. And then if you go down and to the bottom there and to the right, you'll get to where all the physical artifacts are kept. And again, maybe I'll reveal them in a later episode. We'll see what happens. I've only been the creator now for the vault for a short while, but these text and literature and the photographic evidence has been gathering for years and years, and I am just the person who is currently taking care of them and storing and archiving things away. So there you go, here we are, we're in the vault, the safe place for paranormal evidence, with me, G-Star. And I guess it's about time that I tell you what this episode is all about. And we are going to be investigating the mysterious subject of Bigfoot, Sasquatch, Wildmen in the UK. So let's roll that VT. So as I said, this episode is all about Bigfoot or Sasquatch in the UK. And as soon as you mention that sentence, a lot of people would scoff and go, well, that's not possible, especially a lot of people and investigators and enthusiasts in the Bigfoot community. The thing is, if I was to go back to the live stream that we did for the Monty Zone in 2021, that was the stream where we were joined by Ben from 401 Files and Daniel Godwin from his channel. And it was a really great episode, but we started it off by talking about all the different theories around Sasquatch, Bigfoot, Wildmen, the Yowly or whatever it's called in the Australia, or the Yeti, etc. There's lots of different theories. Some of them sort of stem from a very sort of logical or almost scientific and biological background, and then others are a little bit more out there theories. But I'm not here to kind of say which theory is right or wrong. All I can say is the one that I kind of lean more towards is that the Sasquatches or the Bigfoots of this world are from a species of hominid or humanoid that has survived through the passage of time that we're not aware of. And when you say that to a lot of people, they say, well, that can't be possible. But actually, one of the things that we discussed on that same live stream is the fact that, it was even as early as the early 2000s, or I think it was maybe in the 90s, that a large species of chimpanzee was discovered in Africa, which had been sort of felt to be myth for at least over a few hundred years, and then they were actually found. And then there's also like tribes in the remote parts of South America that have never had any contact with modern civilization, and they've been there for thousands of years, and they're small groups. And the only reason that we're coming across some of these tribes, and also probably discovering that mythical species of large chimpanzee, is because technology is allowing us as humans to go to these remote areas of the world where even 20, 30, 40 years ago, it would have been very difficult and expensive to try and venture into these areas. But things like, aerial equipment, satellites, drones allow us to go to places where we can't go before. And, myself, I've seen some of the kind of aerial or drone footage that have been of some of these South American tribes that have never had any contact with modern civilization. And so if that can happen, then of course there can be a species of hominid or a different version of a humanoid that we felt was extinct or has survived through the passage of time, and they've been successful in keeping themselves going. So who knows? But that's where I kind of sit. But there's a lot of other different theories that kick around. For example, one is that that Bigfoot or Sasquatch has some sort of connection to UFOs. There's also the theory of being interdimensional. I'm not going to go through them all now. What I will do is I'll put a link in the description to that live stream, and if you watch the first sort of, I think it's about the first 30 or 40 minutes of it, you'll get a good overview of all of the kind of different theories that exist out there. But let's start talking about Bigfoot in the UK. So the first thing I can tell you is that Bigfoot in the UK is not brand new. I mean, in my research, one of the first things that I came across is a case that stemmed back from the 1890s. And it was a story about a group of upper-class ladies who were playing golf one morning in a small village in Lincolnshire, I believe. And whilst they were playing golf, what they described as a very wild, hairy man came out of the woods and started making its way towards him, grunting and growling. And they seemed that it was going to attack, and they started, obviously screaming and running. And at this point, this hairy wild man disappeared and ran back into the woods. As soon as they got back to the town and, told the police about what had happened, the villagers or the townspeople kind of got together to do a bit of a search, because it would have been a big deal at that time with, possibly a homeless or poor man attacking, these upper class ladies. And so they went out on a bit of a search, and the story takes a bit of a twist here, because when this group of people went out to search the woods, they didn't see the hairy wild man, but what they did see is some really strange lights, like orbs. That's what's described in the story. And I guess that's the first case where an interaction or an experience with a wild man or a Bigfoot and a connection to lights and orbs and maybe the UFO connection way back in the 1890s. So one other thing that we covered on the 2021 live stream of Bigfoot, Sasquatch and Wildmen on the Monty Zone, we featured very shortly Deborah Hatwell's cryptozoology map of the UK. I'm going to put a link in the description. I would really highly recommend everybody check that out. It's a really good map. You can click on all the different symbols. It basically tracks stories, accounts, photography, videography, all cases and sightings of either big cats, dogmen, wildmen, Bigfoot, all the way from the early 1900s all the way up to modern day. So as I said, check out the link in the description and go and have a look at that map. But you'll see the overwhelming exhaustive number of cases of sightings in the UK, which kind of do go to support the activity somewhat, if you want to come at it from that perspective. Now, another big documented case that I can share with you guys is about 7 to 8 years old now, and it's about a sighting that took place in the UK from a gentleman who is a claimed Bigfoot investigator. I think his name was Neil Young, and he got a snap, a picture, and the Finding Bigfoot team, which is a show in the US, came over to actually interview Neil Young and investigate the picture with him. I'll put a link in the description to a video from the Finding Bigfoot team. I gotta say, I'm not a huge fan of the Finding Bigfoot program. I just think it's too dramatized and sensational for my liking. However, this is an interesting photograph. Check it out, see what you think. It's up on the screen now. It's one that's it's a bit difficult to kind of really get hold of it, because it's very blurred, and it's I've tried to zoom in, and you don't get any more detail by doing that. So, but I know that on the big Finding Bigfoot show, they did a sort of bit of a test to see what the size of this creature would have been, and that produced some interesting findings. So, as I say, go and check out the video. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to share some really cool photographic evidence of recent cases of Bigfoot in the UK, or Sasquatch, or Wildmen, and let's talk about each one of these individually and see what you guys think. So this first photograph was taken in 2015 by a lady called Caroline Stubbs, who's 34. She was out in a West Sussex estate walking her dog and came across this creature and got a snap of it. Now again, pretty much similar to the other photo that I was sharing. It's not the best quality, quite blurred, and it's difficult to really as I say, do much more analysis on this, but still quite an interesting one. That's 2015. Now, definitely getting more interesting, this next photo was taken in an area of the UK where I believe, the chances of Sasquatch, Bigfoot being able to be hidden and away from normal humans and remain, as I say, hidden. This picture was taken in Scotland. This one was 2014, and it was taken again by a gentleman who was doing a dog walk, so it seemed very popular. But in this story, the dog did act really strange. What I like about this photo is you can see it both as it was seen in the distance, and then you can see like the zoomed in version of it, and that figure looks quite scary. But as I always say, let me know what you guys think of this one. And this next one is very interesting. So this one is again another dog walker. Now, being that I own 2 dogs myself, I'm going to start trying to walk them out in woods and see what I can see, because it seems a repeatable situation that people keep snapping these Bigfoots or Sasquatch. But this image, which I find particularly scary, just because this, I think it definitely fits more in the Bigfoot Wildmen kind of category, because it just looks like a swamp thing or something like that. But this one was taken by Maxine Caulfield. She was out for a walk in County Antrim in Northern Ireland with her dogs, and she sensed a presence amongst the trees and took this snap. But it's weird because I don't know if that is a tree stump or its leg. That's kind of, I think, what gives it the strange appearance. This could be pareidolia, but again, as always, please let me know what you guys think. This one gives me the heebie-jeebies a little bit. Well, guys, that really wraps up this episode of Bigfoot in the UK. But if you're hungry and thirsty for more Sasquatching, please join us for an exciting live stream. We're coming back with the Monty Zone on Friday, January the 21st, hopefully joined by some exciting guests. And we're going to come back to the Bigfoot and Sasquatch subject matter, and we're going to be doing a whole live stream on that. So make sure that you've subscribed to the channel and hit that notification bell so that you don't miss that live stream coming up on Friday the 21st. And now is the time for you guys to leave the vault, unfortunately, head back out into that tunnel and get back up into normal space and land. And I'll see you next week here, where I will invite you again to come through the secret doors of the vault. As always, please comment on everything that's in this video. Let me know what you think. What are your theories on Bigfoot in the UK? And because we are a community, and we need to kind of hear your thoughts. If you've got any experiences, please share them. And also check out the link in the description to our Facebook site, where you can go and message and contact us and share any experiences, stories, photograph, video footage that you've got on Bigfoot, UFOs, anything paranormal. So please check that out. But as I said earlier, this is G-Star checking out. I'll see you next week here in the vault, and stay safe until then. Until next time, bye.